Good morning, dear students, and welcome back to our today's online class. Today, we are going to start our new chapter in which we are going to study about gases and different gas laws, which tells us how gases behaves under different conditions, such as conditions of temperature, pressure, and volumes. So, in this chapter, we are going to study about gas laws, and the properties of gases, along with some numericals. And that chapter is chapter number 7. And the title of this chapter is Study of Gas Laws. But before going to the laws which governs how gases behaves under different conditions of temperature and pressure, we are going to revise our learning about gas, understanding of gas. Therefore, we are going to start this chapter, this online class, with the introduction of gases. Now, we all know that matter exists in three basic states. We know that matter exists in more than 3 states. In fact, they exist in 5 states. They are solid, liquids, gases, plasma state, and Bose-Einstein condensation state. But we are going to focus on 3 basic states of matter: solids, liquids, and gases. And among these 3 basic states also, we are going to stick to gases. So gas, the state of matter in which interparticle attraction, interparticle is also known as intermolecular. Interparticle attraction is weak, and interparticle space is so large that the particles become completely free to move randomly in the entire space available. So the state of matter in which the interparticle or intermolecular attraction is very weak and the interparticle or intermolecular space is very large or huge, so that these particles become completely free to move from one place to another place available to them. Such states of matter is known as gas. And this characteristic properties such as weak intermolecular attraction and huge intermolecular space makes gas unique among all the states of matter. So let us see unique feature of gases. Now, gas neither have definite shape nor occupy definite volume. Like solids, they have definite shape and they also occupy definite volume. If we talk about liquids, liquids do not have definite shape, but they definitely have the definite volume. They have fixed volume. Whereas gases, they neither have definite shape nor occupy definite volume. All gases show uniform physical behavior under similar conditions of temperature and pressure, irrespective of their chemical nature or color or order. That means if you take carbon dioxide, if you take oxygen, hydrogen, nitrogen, any gas, they all will behave similar under similar condition of temperature, pressure, irrespective of their chemical nature. So this is one very unique nature or feature of gases compared to other different states of matter. So gases, whatever type of gases we take, they all behave similarly under same conditions. So this is the unique feature of gas. Now let us see what are the different behaviors and characteristic properties of gases. Now, this behavior and characteristic of properties of gases can be explained by kinetic molecular theory, which basically tells us about the movement of particles and how this movement of particles carry energy along with it, so that with that energy it behaves differently in one condition and behaves differently in another condition. Let us try to understand behavior and characteristic properties of gases, which can be explained with the help of kinetic molecular theory. The first behavior or the characteristic property of gases. One, composition of gases. What makes gases? Gases are composed of very tiny particles, which are called molecules, moving in all possible directions at all possible speeds. So gases are mainly composed of very tiny molecules which moves in all direction with all possible speeds. So let us see this example over here. So here we can see different particles over here, and among these different particles, let us say these are molecules of gases. Now say suppose this is one molecule which we are looking after. Now this is one molecule. Now since these molecules are very tiny and there are lots of space available over there, this molecule of gas can move from one place to another place. So this is for one position, it again can come to this place. This over here, it can collide with another molecule and change its direction over here. Again it collides with another molecule, reaches over here. In this way it can move in all possible directions with all possible speed, and this movement happens at random movement of molecules in the gaseous state is known as Brownian motion. So we can conclude that in this particular state of matter, gas, they are made up of very tiny molecules which can move in all directions at all possible speed. That is the first behavior or the characteristic of gas. Let's see second behavior or characteristics. Gases have neither a fixed volume nor a fixed shape. Negligible force. This is because negligible forces of attraction between particles makes the particle free to move in the entire space available to them. Since the particle can move from one place to another place, they do not have fixed volume. Their volume can increase, their volume can decrease. And same thing applies with their shape. They do not have definite shape because their particle, their molecules moves from one place to another place, thereby changing their shapes in a fraction of seconds. Therefore, they do not have definite shape. Let's compare among solid, liquid and gases. Solids, the particles are very compact. That's why they have definite shape and definite volume, and the particles do not move in freely in different directions. They do vibrate, but they vibrate in their own place. If we come to liquid, in liquid intermolecular space is little larger than solids than in solids. The intermolecular attraction is also little less weaker than in solids, but still their intermolecular attraction is strong enough to hold these liquid molecules or liquid particles together. Although they do not have definite shape, they still can move from one place to another place to a restricted space, but they still occupy definite volume. Now if we come to gas over here, now in gases, these molecules are very far apart from each other, due to which their intermolecular attraction is weak, as a result of which molecules becomes free to move from one place to another place, and this is the reason gases do not have definite volume or definite shape. The third behavior is gases exert pressure in all direction. Let us try to understand this with this diagram, which contains gas molecules enclosed inside a container. Now over here we can see that gas molecules can move in all direction, and when they move in randomly in all directions, they continuously collide with each other as well as with the walls of the container. This randomly moving molecules collide with each other as well as the walls of the container, due to which they exert pressure on the walls of the container. And it has been found that at a given temperature, time and area, the same number of molecules of gas strike against the wall of the container. Thus, gases exert same pressure in all directions. It doesn't happen that the number of molecules colliding on this side of the wall is more than the number of molecules colliding on this wall. If that would have happened, then the pressure on this side would have been more compared to the pressure on this side. But in reality, the molecules colliding on the wall on this side is equal to the molecules colliding with the wall on this side or any other side of the container, therefore exerting equal amount of pressure in all directions. So we can conclude that gases exert pressure in all directions in equal amount. Fourth behavior or characteristic property of gases is gases are highly compressible. Compressible means their volume can be decreased by a huge amount. Let us see why. Let us try to understand with the help of these two diagrams. In this container, we can see that there are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 molecules of gases. Now over here, we can see that there is a huge space. There are huge spaces between molecules. Therefore, its volume is little more. But as we start applying pressure downward, what happens is these molecules come closer and closer to each other. These molecules are able to come closer to each other because there exists large intermolecular space, and in these empty spaces these molecules can move and occupy their new position, take their new position. As a result of which, when the pressure is high enough, the molecules become very close to each other, and when the molecule comes very close to each other, their volume also decreases. This is what is known as compressibility. So there are large intermolecular spaces between gas molecules, due to which on applying pressure the molecules come closer, thus decreasing the volume of the gas. Hence, gases are highly compressible, which is not possible with solids and even with liquid. Although liquids are little compressible, but not as compressible as gases. Let us move to fifth behavior or characteristic of gases. Gases are highly expansible. Just opposite of compressible is expansible. So during compression, the volume of gases decreases. During expansion, the volume of gas increases. Again, let's take this figure and try to understand expansibility of gases. Now, when the pressure is high, the gaseous molecule are very close to each other. Now, as we reduce the pressure, what happens is now gas molecules now move far from each other, because their molecules have that tendency to move away from each other. Now, when pressure on an enclosed gas is reduced, its molecules move apart, thus increasing their intermolecular space. As a result, larger the intermolecular space, more will be the volume, larger will be the volume. As a result, the volume of the gas increases, which proves that gases are highly expansible. The volume of the gas can also be increased by heating the gas. That means we can conclude that the volume of the gas can be increased by, number 1, decreasing pressure, and number 2, by heating the gas. When we heat the gas, we increase the kinetic energy of gas molecules. And when the kinetic energy of gas molecule increases, these molecules move far from each other with more speed, increasing intermolecular space. Thus, volume increases. Let's see sixth behavior or characteristic of gases. Gases have low density. Now let's compare three states of matter. Solids. The particles are compact, close, very densely packed, therefore the density is more. And liquids, particles are a little far apart, therefore their number of particles per unit area is a little less compared to solid. And if we see gases, in gases these molecules are very far apart from each other, as a result of which the number of particles per unit area is very less compared to solids and liquids. Hence, gases have low density. So first of all, let us see what we mean by density. Density is the number of molecules per unit volume. In 1 unit volume, how many particles or molecules are present? That is known as density. More the number of molecules per unit volume, more will be the density. Less the number of molecules per unit volume, lower will be the density. So in these three matters, gases have least number of molecules per unit volume, hence gases have least density. Due to large intermolecular spaces in gases compared to liquids and solids, the number of molecules per unit volume in gas is least compared to solids and liquids, which results in having less density. Thus, gases have least densities. Number 7 characteristic of gases have natural tendency to mix with one another. They easily mix with among each other. And this is also because in gases intermolecular spaces are huge and there are large empty space. Therefore, another molecule of another gas can occupy these empty spaces and mix homogeneously with each other. That is why in the air we say air is a mixture of gases. And over there, how this mixing of gases is possible? Because gases have huge intermolecular space. So between these spaces, molecules of carbon dioxide can be there, molecules of oxygen can be there, molecules of nitrogen can be there, molecules of water vapor can be there. And this mixing is a homogeneous one, even everywhere. The process of gradual mixing of two substances kept in contact by molecular motion is known as diffusion. So we can say that gases undergoes diffusion immediately whenever they come in contact with each other. Let's see this diagram over here. Now here we have molecules of two types. Blue molecule, let's take these are molecules of one gas, and pink molecules are molecules of another gas. Now when they come in contact, close contact, they can spread or mix like this. So pink molecule can occupy empty spaces between blue molecules, and because of this particular phenomenon, these two gases are able to mix homogeneously everywhere, and this is what is known as diffusion. So gases can diffuse easily. The gases can also be liquefied. Liquefied means gases can be again converted back to liquids. Now on cooling, what happens is the kinetic energy of the molecule of gas gets reduced, and on applying pressure on this cooled gas having less energy, the molecules comes closer to each other. That means to liquefy gases we have to follow two steps. First, we have to cool the gas. When we cool the gas, we are decreasing kinetic energy of the molecule. When the kinetic energy gets reduced, molecules will not move that fast, so their motion will come down. And when we now reduce the pressure, or I'm sorry, when we apply the pressure, increase the pressure on this cooled gas, now these molecules, now instead of moving far, they will come closer to each other. When these molecules come closer to each other, their intermolecular space decreases and the intermolecular attraction increases, as a result of which these gases changes into liquids, and this process is known as liquefaction. Okay, and we can say that gases undergoes, or gases can be liquefied. The intermolecular space decreases, due to which the number of particles per unit volume increases. We can also say in another term that the density increases and the gas thus liquefies. This is one example of gas being converted to liquid. Liquid nitrogen. So nitrogen is a gas. When it is cooled and high pressure is applied on this cooled nitrogen, it converts into liquid state. And when this liquid nitrogen is poured out from its container, pressure gets released, therefore the liquid again changes back to gas. So with this, we complete our today's introduction on gases. We have learned about different behavior and characteristic properties of gases. I suggest you to refer to your textbook, page number 114 to 115, and answer the questions given to you as today's assignment number 7. They are: what do you understand by gas? Number 2, gases are highly compressible. Explain why. Question number 3, define diffusion. And question number 4, mention 2 ways by which the volume of gases can be increased. So these are the 4 questions for you to answer. This much for today, boys. Stay safe and do all things well.